Indeed, Maynard. Well, let's see just how explosive he can make it. Down here in the bottom left-hand side of Blackburn, representing Mind Freak Esports, this is Seither.
It is indeed Pig, well spotted, and I spy with my little eye in the bottom right here from Legacy ANZ, the strongest Protoss in the region. This is Probe. Did I say strongest Protoss? I meant strongest player. The race doesn't even factor into it. He's just number one.
Head Warrior. Number one Barbarian. Squisher of Terran and Zerg skulls. And Protoss skulls, if they stand in his way.
He kills his own people.
Savage.
He's actually a psycho, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, unless they bow down to him and just forfeit, you know?
Yeah.
Home and belongings.
That's right.
He shakes their hands there to get a bit of a warm-up in him. Depot does start to finish the wall off there for Seither. So Seither going for some cheeky scouting denial while just doing a very normal expand on the high ground.
Yeah, just trying to put a bit of the fear into Probe. He's like, I could have gone double gas here. You'll never know.
Of course, Probe, though, is a Protoss in 2021. So the only change is he'll go Cybercore before Nexus. And that's otherwise he'll do exactly what he was planning to do. Maybe he'll build his shield battery at some point, but that's probably about it.
Wouldn't that be amazing? That's around that point where Seither's going to have to finish that depot, as he doesn't have a natural down just yet. It's about that time to make it. Yeah, you're quite right. Like he's hiding the fact that he's playing normally.
Yeah. Well, this is something I think, just, okay, I'm out of builds. Well, all I need to do is just hide that I'm playing normal, and that alone is annoying for the Protoss to deal with. So he's going to go for a Reaper, but Probe is going to come back in. Shouldn't be able to see the command center from the wall in. I hope he's placed that far enough back. I think he definitely has. Yeah. Well done. Factory does go down in second gas as well. So just keeping Probe guessing. Is Probe gonna stress out over it? Is he just going to play greedy for now? Probe is just following a normal plan. Chrono into the Adapt, Chrono into the Stalker. Continuing Probe production non-stop.
Yeah, the macro machine is turning here. Both players. He's going for a shield battery at the front of that natural there, just in case. And there is a Reaper about to jump up to the main base.
Quick second barracks behind this for Seither. So, and a third barracks.
Ooh,
What
okay.
is he? I think he's going to make lots of Marines and tanks. I think he's doing a tank push. He likes tank pushes on this map, Maynard. So I think he's going to make a tech lab on the factory, make some tanks and walk across Marines. The Reaper gets a scout, is a little annoying there, gets a bit of damage. And tech lab does go down on that factory. So yeah. So Seither's doing the 3 barracks, 4 Marines, 1 tank at a time push. Pull probably 4 or 5 SCVs to build bunkers. It's got a lot of meat to it. Definitely has a chance here because remember, Probe's tech has actually been slowed down. Chronoing out the early Stalkers and Adapts. Twilight Council's a little later than normal. He's going to go Robo, but similar to that game against T-Bull, it's just not that many gateway units. Your second gateway will be out, but no third, no fourth gateway.
Yeah. I mean, the strategy from Seither, if it is what we expect it to be, is on paper going to look pretty good. And it all comes down to execution, though. Like, obviously, you can have what you need to get the job done, and everything can look good for you on paper, but those hands need to make sure that they do the right thing, and you don't want to be losing those tanks, you don't want to be losing those the bunkers getting denied, that sort of thing.
Maru's favorite line in interviews, I hope my hands don't betray me. It's definitely one that has happened to Terran players before. It's the worst way to lose a game or a series. Reaper's going to come in and go down. Now this is weird because Seither's build has suddenly started confusing me. He's building Marauders and Stem, but he doesn't have enough gas for shields. No third gas going down. No starport still. So it's a later push than I thought. I thought he'd already be kind of pushing out the moment this tank comes out, but it's a medevac-less style that kind of looks normal, but not quite. This is bizarre. It's fascinating.
Yeah, we expected the push here, and he is still making. He's got those tanks hidden up in the main, so he's definitely trying to hide this move out, right? Like if you weren't hiding this push, you would have your tank sieged up in the natural.
So you don't remember he can not stim with this push. This is like a stim push where like your stim has to happen after there's a charge on your bio, and you know that they're not then going to run away. Like, you cannot preemptively stim because you're not getting those hit points back.
Yeah, this stim is like in that Mad Max Fury Road movie where they spray the chrome on their teeth and then ride till Valhalla. That's the...
Witness!
They scream, "Witness me!" Stim up the ramp. Because you're right, it's a one-way trip. They're not going home.
Yep. They want to make sure someone sees. They're like, hey, this better be impactful. Do we have SCVs pulled with this?
Yep, here we go.
Here we go.
This is a scary attack.
It's a big one, man. Forge and Robobay, not what you need right now, Probe. He can defend with all this tech on the way, then I'll be very impressed. Shield battery's going down in the natural. Stalker's going to come down and skirmish with this. Does he stay on the outside with these Stalkers? He might. Ooh, doesn't want to get pinned in his natural, so he says, hey, let's stay out here and pick at you from the side. I like the idea, but it does expose his probes.
It does, and that tank is now in range of the infrastructure of the Protoss, in range of that pylon too, which he's using to warp in at. And for the shield batteries back in the natural, those slow zealots getting minced by the bio here, and there's that stim from Seither.
Yeah, well, he's not getting those hit points back, but he kills a lot of units with it. Can he protect his siege tanks? Oh, a juicy blink, but those tank shots answer in kind.
I think Seither's done it, man.
Yes.
Probe is losing so much here. Seither. Oh, starting this final with a bang.
Special tactics build here from Seither to start things out. This is not your mum and dad's TV fee. No medevacs. It's a 3 racks, 2 gas push. Skips the engineering base, skips the starport, skips the 3rd gas, and says, look at how hard and fast this tank push hits. This is a real monster push.
Certainly is. And while Probe is going to try and get this done, he's got the observer over the tanks, and he's going to try and, I think, pick off those lower hit point tanks, but they're getting juiced up by the SCV repair right now. So Probe's really trying to push it uphill at the moment, and I don't think it's going to work. Seither's done too much damage. He's knocked him down to 1 base.
Yeah, 1 base Protoss does not do well in this scenario as starport's on the way. Probe takes his hands off his keyboard and mouse, and he does decide to tap.
Well, there goes that map advantage. It's a best of 5 now.
Seems to be taking it well. For anyone who's worried that Probe just is falling apart at the seams, nope, that's every game Probe's lost, even on ladder. Pretty much the same response for anyone who's watched his stream, so don't worry, guys.
Oh, I just lost 9 points in another Korean PvP. No, I'm just kidding. I love Probe's stream. You guys should check it out, by the way. Probe_SC2 on Twitch. He streams quite a bit. He's been on stream hiatus at the moment, though, but mentioned in his interview he's doing a lot of studies and obviously practicing for this tournament. So I think he's prioritized correctly, but he's got a really fun stream and he's a lovely guy to sit and chat with, and also very good at answering questions as well. If you like, you got strategy questions, StarCraft questions. He's incredibly intelligent and good looking guy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm simping right now.
His YouTube channel teaches a lot. It really does. No, it's easy. He's actually one of these StarCraft pros who has a YouTube channel that has like some of the best tutorial content out there, where he really methodically explains things, and not that many people know about it. It's a hidden gem. Whenever he's streaming or he's putting out a YouTube video, if you want to learn something, he's always happy to help you out. He responds to comments and everything. So this push, though, he's going Robo Bay Forge. He's like, I'm playing pretty safe. I'm going for Colossus on 2 base. Yeah, not against this. Against this, you need to get as many units out as quickly as possible. If you do like 4-gate blink and you run into this build, it's the easiest win of your life. Like, you just start picking off units on their side of the map, blink away whenever you're in trouble, cut off your reinforcements from behind. By the time they get to your base, their army's half dead. One of the tanks is gone, and it's a very easy hold. But these sort of 2-gate, very tech-heavy builds where the tech hasn't kicked in, and you don't have that many units off the gateways. This is the sweet spot for Seither's timing attack to hit.
I loved seeing that rare emotion from Seither as well. Where the game ended, he just had a bit of a smile and was like, "Oh, I just got away with murder. Nice." We're going to take a short break, guys. When we return, the second game of the grand final. So do not go away. See the probe continuing after the break. G'day, StarCraft fans. Welcome back. We are in the grand final of the Oceanic Bracket here for Dreamhack Masters main event. I am Maynard. With me is Pig, and we're going into game 3, technically, but on broadcast game 2, because Probe started with a 1-0 lead from winning the winner's bracket. It is tied up 1 apiece, and it's just a best of 5 from here on out.
Well explained, Maynard. That's always a tricky one, but yeah, the 1-0 advantage there is always something that can be a little confusing to some, but that is the advantage for not losing a single series in the entire tournament. He did 2-0 Seither earlier. Seither having lost that series is where his disadvantage comes from. But yeah, immediately equalized. Just a great way to start the series. You know, I was saying you need to dig out something that is not easily readable if you need to do something that you might not execute as perfectly. And I don't think Seither had a lot of practice with that. I really don't. Things didn't line up completely perfectly, but the idea was solid and it was hidden really well. So once he executed the push, that was flawless as well, right? And that's the thing, is often in a tournament, it's not so much about having every single supply depot finish at the exact right second and that sort of stuff. It's more about the strategy of surprising your opponent, catching them off guard, especially against a guy like Probe who likes to scout, see what you're doing, and be just the right amount of greedy against it.
And I think that game's kind of given us a prelude into what this series is going to have a lot of games involving, which is, I think, Seither being maybe a little bit more, shall we say, underhanded, trying to fight up against Probe because he considers himself the weaker player. While Probe is nervous, he is, in my mind, he mentioned it, that he's not feeling super confident here. That's just Probe in a nutshell. He's, in my mind, the more superior player, like mechanically, macro-wise. He is just so solid at everything that's fundamental about StarCraft 2. He's got a tick in every single box. And to beat someone like that, you have to be, I feel, tricky, because playing them at their own game is going to be a tough percentage chance of making work happen, I guess. Absolutely,
Maynard. And I personally, thinking about this, I'm like, you know, it might be time to do a 3cc, because if I think about Probe historically as a player, when he is in danger of dying at all-ins, has a tendency to play overly safe, right? He's like, okay, oh, you want to cheese me? All right, like, you know, I'm gonna get an observer, an oracle across the map as my very first unit. Like, I will make sure I see what's going on. I will delay my third base. I won't probe as hard. Probe is a player who will try to kind of ensure survival to the later stages because he sees himself as the superior player a lot of the time. So because of that, a sneaky third command center, like just a quick third command center or a corner third command center where you drop all your mules and you slowly build up SCVs. These are the sort of strategies which, off the back of that surprising all-in that kind of looked like a normal build, I think this is the perfect time to do something like that.
I'm with you, absolutely. Like, we actually saw Ranger do that exactly against Seither, but on the Protoss side of things, where he was like playing against his image, going for the macro game and catching Seither unaware in a game that he was just unprepared for and ended up losing in the end. But that was then, and this is now. And in the bottom left here, winning game 2, looking to try and take the lead in the series. This is Mind Freak Seither.
And in the top right, representing Legacy Esports in the blue, it's Probe.
All right. Yeah, it looks like Seither this time is not going to go for the early wall-off. It's going to let Probe have a look this time.
Probe looking super serious. It's kind of funny, you know, feel like we've seen Probe grow up over the last 10 years of him in the scene, and seeing him get a bit more kind of mature, a bit more serious. His cheekbones become more and more defined as the baby fat comes off, and his Protoss play become even more unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've been around since pretty much the start of StarCraft 2 in the region, Pig, and he used to be Reinhardt. He used to be a teenager when we first sort of interacted with him.
Yeah.
Be that guy pushing Masters League, playing in C tournaments, always in the SC2 chat on the website, talking about StarCraft with other people in the scene. And then one day just blossomed into the best player in the region. And that was, I think when he was still a teenager, that was when Patreus started to come up as our region's strongest player. Like, that was sort of like the age after or around when Igus was taking control of the Oceanics region. Patreus got up there, and this was just after the dominance of Moonglade.
Yeah. And the second barracks does come down nice and quickly here for Seither. So
Okay.
might be an old school 3 racks. Could still be a 2-1-1. That does come out a bit more of regularly lately, but 3 racks.
It is
nice.
a 3 racks. All right. My
Good
man.
build to mix in. I wonder, more recently, we haven't seen a lot of engineering bays with this. We're seeing like a more, quick marauders, quick push, or potentially quicker medevacs behind it. But yeah, Probe's going Stargate, so he's doing the fastest way to get scouting across the map and just be safe is always a Stargate build in this matchup because it just gives you vision of everything that's going on. So
Yeah.
I think Probe's just doing that. Look, no surprises, no thank you. Let's just get out a unit. Even if it's a Phoenix, I think he might just rally it straight across the map. Not care so much about showing his tech because he just wants to check what Seither's up to.
And you might be thinking, like, the guy with a bowl of Marines is going to be good against the guy making, Stargate units, right? And yeah, I mean, that if the Stargate units fight against the bowl of Marines, obviously they're going to die. But it's the Stargate unit coming out and scouting this is a really big deal. And that means that Probe can also adjust. Also, with the Oracle, you can start throwing things down like stasis wards, which, if you're really lucky as a Protoss, can shut this down completely.
Yeah, and a second and third gate before Nexus is nice safe play. You'll have a lot of unit production. Now, there's no Marine stationed in the main, which is definitely a little deadly because he's already swapping into Marauders. So I do worry that this first Oracle is going to come in and kill like 4 or 5 SCVs.
It does seem that way. We've got the engineering base starting up here for Seither.
Oh, he's just chilling for now. Because he was like, whoa, there's Marines moving out. I think they've put a bit of fear into Probe's mind. He thought maybe there's like a Marine Hellion attack coming, needs the Oracle at home. Maybe there's a super quick drop or something. So that's very unfortunate because Probe will most likely move out to take a third base now. He's already going 4 gas on 2 base. Oh, he's just going to go non-stop Oracles, isn't he? I think he's going to just make like 4 or 5 Oracles.
This is when Stargate doesn't look so great. If you're going mass Oracle,
they can kill Marines. It's pretty Marauder heavy, right? So maybe it's so fragile on both sides. Oh, you know what? There's not enough Marines in there. I actually think as long as he comes in with the Oracles all at once, I think he just kills all the Marines, and then this totally backfires on Seither. So we'll see. If the Oracles misstep even once, though, they'll die very quickly to the Marines.
You are not wrong. Also, the Oracles are going to be across the map as Seither comes up the ramp. This is going to get real weird. So the triple Oracle...
Oh, he sees it. He's staying focused. He's not surprised. He's actually really focused. Shield battery overcharge is ready. It goes down. Oh, here come the Oracles. The Marines do focus fire. They get 1. Can they get 2? Nope, the Oracles are gunning him down. Even though they get 2 of them, almost all the Marines are gone, and that battery overcharge has done the work.
You're absolutely right, and this ended up backfiring. And all the SCVs in the pool go down. The Marines die, and that's it. He says, yeah, okay, GG. Sometimes StarCraft be that way, you know? The guy does the thing that completely destroys what you do.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, man. I mean, battery overcharge, just having the battery ready on the natural, and Probe just sat there and just waited. He didn't know exactly what was happening, but he seemed to sense that this was, I think, a good one-size-fits-all solution. He was like, okay, well, you have an attack, so I'll go across with 3 Oracles. Oh, you are pushing? Okay, bring them back. Turn on the lasers, and that battery, a game changer there.
That's right. Laser beams. The damaging lasers and the healing lasers with the shield battery. That's what it's all about. And that Space Elf faction's got some pretty good tools, huh? Defensively, quite good.
Exactly. When you pull that many SCVs, like Seither did, I think it was like 8 or 9 SCVs or something. That's such a commitment. That's like he was trying to do the most surprising build. But as I said, I felt after game 1, Probe was going to be a bit more safe, right? Play maybe even overly defensive. Dude, he played 4 gas, 3 gate, 3 Oracles before taking a third. He didn't really know what was going on. If Seither went for a 3CC, I actually think he does great here.
Yeah. I mean, the triple Oracle is I think the initial strategy of Probe there was just to start one-shotting SCVs, go for the drive-by, and get a bunch of worker damage.
Yeah.
But it just turned out to be serendipitous for him there, that it just worked against that many Marines. Seither just didn't quite have enough. Weirdly enough, he actually would have done a lot better if he didn't make Marauders.
It's kind of odd when that happens, isn't it? But that really is the case. It's like, yeah, Marauders do a bit more to Stalkers, but in that case, honestly, you just want to focus down the Oracles. I think disengage as well. Pull back and just deny the third, and then go home. Send your SCVs home, get out of there, and it makes a big difference. Also, if you're not building those Marauders, you could have a much quicker factory, medevacs and things on the way behind it. But if you've pulled a bunch of SCVs, you're pretty committed, and you're kind of just catching them off guard. So this is 2 games in a row. Seither has done a very oddball, surprising all-in, I think he needs to definitely mix it up a little bit because Probe shows he knows how to make the adjustment there.
I mean, we'll see, but I just feel like Seither's going to keep doing weird things like this. These two base attacks and boy pool all-ins. I think we're going to see a few more of them here in this series. I don't think we're out of this water just yet. But I'm with you. I think strategically, if Seither's feeling a little bit more confident and is okay with playing the longer game, playing against what Probe probably expects at this point and going for that really fast 3rd CC and just going for a greedy build when someone's really like pulling everything close to their chest and trying to expect the worst is a great way to shoot ahead. And those leads, when Seither has a lead in TVP, even if it's against Probe, he generally keeps it. He's pretty good at keeping those leads, unless there's a Dark Shrine, in which case all bets are off.
But that's exactly it. Yeah, I do think got to play to his strengths there. It's easy to get in your head a little bit and go, oh, there's no way I could win that sort of game. But often it's just one or two small details changing in the early to mid build-up stage, and you can smash that guy in a macro game. That's how StarCraft works, right? It's you put a bit of fear in them. Their economy is nowhere near what it normally is. Their tech's a little slower. They're taking safety precautions. They're worried about things. And so I think Seither definitely still has room to adapt and adjust in this series. He, of course, is now down 1-2. It is a best of 7 to find out who gets that coveted spot in the season finals.
Yes, sir. It is a big money tournament. So let's get amongst it here in the bottom left from Legacy ANZ, currently up in the final. This is Pro.
And his opponent in the top right, trying to misdirect and surprise his opponent. Let's see how many cards he has up his sleeve. It's Mind Freak Seither.
Greases himself up for another TVP. One of many. Of course, let's not forget what this is all for. There is 12,000 USD. Actually, 12,200. So even more than that on the line here for the prize pool for this tournament. Absolutely massive support from the ESL Pro Tour for our region, which is awesome to see. And of course, the points. Don't forget the points. Looking at a macro focus, the more points you get from whether it be the weekly cups, which of course got their prize pools doubled. If you guys haven't seen the announcement, check it out. Shopify sponsoring the ESL Pro Tour and just giving a huge injection of money and support and a little bit more infrastructure for esport that was already doing quite well, even though it's long in the tooth. This game's approaching 11 years old. Just that extra kick from some extra support from a company that's just like, the CEO is just such a huge passion lord for StarCraft, and he's been supporting this game with several different projects over the last year and a half, I feel. Since Home Story Cup 20, basically, Shopify appeared and just started, kicking goals for StarCraft 2, which is just absolutely amazing. So, yeah. And, of course, if you finish number one here in this final, TLO, of course. And the first place finisher, the guy that wins this series, already just gets a seed directly into the season finals, which is big money as well. So that's a prize in itself. Take the money out of it.
Yeah, big chance to go up against the biggest dogs in the world. Seither here with his Marine, waits for that probe to come deep and says, "You're trapped."
I'm not stuck in here with you.
Stuck in here with me. Probe does come up to the wall and goes flying. Wow, cartwheeling off to the surface of the ocean. Damn.
And he gets the conversion, 2 points.
Twilight Council does come down behind this for Probe, so it looks like just a blink opening most likely. Could be some Dark Templar. He wasn't necessarily rushing that quite as quickly as like T-Bulls when he was opening with it, and yet it was still doing very well versus Seither. Now Command Center is finishing up, as is the bunker, right on time. Expect to see that Widow Mine drop. I mean, that's honestly Seither's comfort zone, so we'll see what happens.
Yes, indeed. The factory switches over for the reactor here. So the Seither loved doing this against T-Bulls, the Widow Mines, the Hellions. Robo coming down from Probe, so he's playing quite safe here.
Yeah, quite quick, isn't it? So just that 2-gate Robo expand seems to be very favored right now. Get out the observers, the blink, give you some nice flexibility. It's a little bit bare bones on unit production. Definitely can be powerful now. 2 Widow Mines building at a time. I wonder if after the medevac we see an armory with the next 100 gas. And a second medevac.
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool.
Yeah, mass invisible Widow Mine drops. The ones where, you know, they're hunting down one of them and another one already comes in on the other side and you just don't stop. But no, it looks like he's done for now as the barracks will swap back onto the factory. Third gas goes down for Seither. Wants to keep up some of that tech unit production. That is a third gas before any extra production facilities go down.
You know, the third gas, it always just, my TVT brain kicks in. I'm like, oh, you might be going for Raven here in tank production. But
yeah, that's exactly it. I'm like, this is the same thing. I'm like, oh, I don't normally see it so quick in TVP. That's a TVT thing where you're just building tanks and Ravens non-stop basically for the first 6-7 minutes of the game, right?
Mm-hmm. That's it, man. Jeez, we haven't seen a TVT in the Oceanic group stage for a hot minute.
Yeah, unfortunately, Azura going out in the qualifiers. I often see him and Seither clash in some good matches, but Nux, up-and-coming Filipino player, took him out there. So it was an impressive result. I was surprised to see that one, and unfortunate, though, didn't get to see any of Azura in the final brackets.
Yeah, Azura can be really, really good. He's had some great series. Your brother, Pig Jr.
Yep. A few of those Terran players definitely, they have their moments, but none of them the consistency of this guy. Oh, the Stalker's come out by surprise, but he doesn't focus the medevac. Oh, he tries to focus the Widow Mines. Because of that, even though he will kill the medevac, it definitely does deny a bit of mining, and that Widow Mine in the main being super annoying.
Yeah, Fibber denied mining here. The Widow Mines do fire off their charges, though, so Probe can now clean them up. The probes go back to mining safely.
Could have been worse, but no third Nexus started, so Probe is still, you know, he took quite a bit of lost mining time, but he's got a lot of Stalkers. I think he goes across to pressure now. Third Command Center starts behind this for Seither. I like this build from Seither. You know, he gets 2 barracks up early, but not the third. It's an in-between. It's not a super quick third Command Center build. It's just like a halfway point where you're like, well, how about we just get 1 extra barrack? So I've still got stim and a bit more bio. Gives me a bit more mobility and freedom. But I am not going to be as greedy as just rushing that third command center off 1 Rex.
Probe coming for a poke at the natural the Terran here, which is locked down pretty tight. And with the Raven, obviously, you see there has an army that's got quite a bit of utility here. Also, you know, mobile detection against observers. Nice to not have to scan and you pick off those observers. Probe already has 3 of them. It looks like he's got one to the north side of his main. He's got the watchtower on the far right side as well. Probe's got some pretty good map control at the moment. Yeah,
great vision. No run bys getting across here. Does not have any Colossus range on the way. Probe has added 2 sentries, so they're gathering energy. I would say getting Colossus range is not as important as starting the first Colossus, right? It's start the first Colossus, and then probably even the second one is probably more important as well. But you do really want to have it done by the time the first big clash happens.
Mm-hmm. Here comes the push from Seither, obviously with Blink Stalkers. You can shave into the units and blink back. Seither actually leapfrog sieging here. It looks like he just wants to protect the third base.
Yeah, just going to lose a couple of Marines. Probe, just real diligent. Makes him pay the tax. Take a Marine, take a Marine, take a Marine. Just making it hard, even to take a third base. There's nothing's easy for you, Terran player.
Yeah. No free thirds where I grew up. Goodbye, Stalker. See you at the surface.
Good salvage on the top of the ocean over this chasm. But
yeah.
Definitely
blue goo will wash away.
Yeah. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch was actually created by 2,000 atmospheres being directly below it.
Yeah, and on the other side of the planet, they got Abyssal Reef Steel, which has just got some terrible pollution over there. How many games played on that map?
Absolutely. Well, you know, supply looks great for Seither. I mean, as long as Seither just keeps macroing, I think he's in a good position. Might be a little worried about playing late game. So a big 3-base timing is always a possibility. I mean, he doesn't have a second eBay or armory. And, Vikings and tanks. So that's interesting. He's just non-stop building Vikings and tanks. He's going to have awesome anti-colossi. The only thing he's going to be lacking is ghosts. But I still think, like, hey, push out right now. It's interesting he's gone 6 gas, though. As Seither, because it really does not look like he's going to the next stage. Like, you'd have at least a +1 armor on the way by now and some other things. Yeah, he's going to go for the attack now. I mean, it's not an all-in, but it's just he's cut economy and tech production and upgrades and all that stuff. He really does want to do damage. Raven out front. Oh, whoa, a little panic there. Oh, and he gets feedbacked anyway.
All right, well, the Raven's kind of been taken... Yeah, he still has the ability to fight these Colossi without the Raven, although that was sloppy from Seither.
Ooh, Zealot flank's getting set up. Zealot
Yeah,
flank
this could be
from
nice.
Probe. Oh, I feel like he's got to cut off the reinforce though, does Probe. Otherwise, his Zealots are just going to get caught by the rally.
Yeah, this is getting really heavily reinforced from Seither here. Yeah, those Zealots are just going to wash into a meat grinder. It seems like Probe will need to come in at the same time with that Prism. I think he had High Templar in it. Certainly has the Templar Archives. He's relying on the tier 3 Robo here. Here we go.
Oh, the Colossus getting focus fired by the tanks. The Zealots come from behind. Those Colossus just won't go down. The tanks need to focus them.
Yeah, the tank focus fire now coming in with the Vikings. The bio does get cleaned up, though, and even though that was not free for Probe, he does clean up the Terran push and will survive to fight another day. Seither taking a big hit to his supply, but still in a pretty healthy spot here, I gotta say. The Terran can turn this into a win still.
Upgrades are a problem, and that Probe is up one upgrade, and he's got 2 Robos. He's got 1 Colossus alive, 2 more on the way. You've lost all your tanks and Vikings. The problem here for Seither is how committed he was to that push. He starts a 4th command center now, starts loading up drops. He does actually have a Ghost Academy, fascinatingly. So, I mean, he is progressing to the next stage, but doing it kind of slowly. So, turret in the main, that Prism. You talked about his Achilles heel, the Warp Prism of Zealots that seems to cause him so many troubles in his games. He is adding them. But I personally think of Viking. Covering his main is almost an essential addition for Seither. And there we go. There are 2 little red dots there that I did not see. Fantastic preparation.
So that Double Forge is kicking in. You talked about the upgrade situation. And Seither, I've noticed that in the games, now that you mentioned that, he really doesn't care about upgrades too much in a lot of his TVPs. He's more about the timing attacks and then worrying about getting the next phase of his plan later. But really, like... You can drop the engineering bay and the armory as well while doing this. You don't have to be quite as committed, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that he's going there now, but yeah, it's a bit slower, like, right? He's going to lag on the upgrades a little bit. I guess often Terran picks when the fights happen. So you can just go, yeah, I'm half an upgrade behind, but it doesn't matter because I'll fight right when my upgrade finishes, so we're the same.
Oh, no, the Vikings just moved.
Oh, well played by Probe. He's so good at doing this. EMP hits a single Zealot. Not the most efficient EMP. The Snipe does take out another Zealot, though. And so far, pretty well defended. Would like to
Seither sending his entire army into the main here. The third's wide open.
Oh, no. He's been completely lured out of position. He's going to lose a lot of SCVs down there, Maynard. Pulling the whole army back, just a bit of a lazy pull. And I like the choice to pull back. I just don't like you pulling the whole army into the main.
Yeah. I really feel like the rallies from the barracks has had that. It was a really unfortunate choice there from Seither.
Worried about the extra 8 Zealot warping that could have come. He said, I want to get this done so I can go back and attack. But he's got a 4th up. He's still got 57 workers. It's not over just yet. This drop is bouncing between the back of these bases, forcing lots of Stalker warpings back there. Probe is rotating his army over, trying to find an angle. Looks like Seither's drop will run into a cannon and a battery. Not going to get too much damage done there.
Yeah, it's not microing it at the moment as well, so it's just focusing down on the cannon, which means that the drop should get cleaned up pretty easily by Probe. See the sieging up in the middle.
Oh,
Nova comes in. Oh,
great.
gets a few Marauders and a Ghost. Very nice.
Yeah, just barely on the edge of its range there. Seither's not rebuilding his SCVs right now, so it's still very much big bio tank Viking pushes. His +2 attack is on the way, but I don't think it'll be ready for this one. Zealot setting up for a flank one more time. Great angle for Seither. A bit of a misstep from Probe.
Yeah, and the Disruptor's all fire. Oh, that reinforcement could have gotten a Colossus for sure.
Yeah, it was an accident. I think they were both shocked by that one. Oh, God, what are these units doing here sort of situation? Tank's a little slow to siege, though. Probe very quick to rotate. Seither stepping into a terrible position.
Yeah, Probe ended up getting like a 270-degree surround here. Reinforcements coming on the right side to help out with the Stalkers, but there's just too much Protoss on the left. And Probe getting fired up as he goes towards match point with a 3-1 lead over Seither. That game was pretty back and forth. I felt like Seither was actually ahead for a good chunk of it. But that decision to go into the main with every single unit to deal with the Warp Prism, pulling him out of position at that third base, losing so much of his mining, that just basically meant at that point that he was his hand was forced to do something with a counterattack after you take damage like that. You can't just sit back and go, all right, well, my opponent's just going to make a 4th Nexus and get up to like 80 probes now. So he's going to have a huge lead, and I'm not going to be able to do anything about it.
Well, the Widowmine drop, not too bad at the start. It got some denied mining. This was an interesting push because it looked like he might kill Probe here. I mean, see, that a great amount of supply and everything, but Probe did such a good job of keeping the Colossus alive and setting up the Zealot flank. Notice those Colossi, and look at how long they survived in this fight. They were deep in the red even before this clip started, and yet they did so much more damage and got healed a ton by the battery.
It's such an unfortunate mistake from Seither as well to lose all the energy on that Raven. That thing was juiced up and ready to go. Imagine if that Raven got part of that battle, maybe an anti-armor missile even. Would have been really sick there for that army of Seither.
It was juiced to the gills, man. It could have been a absolute game changer. I mean, even 4 auto turrets to block like the Zealots or something, right? That's so much tankiness.
Nice Nova there from Pro, but yeah, this position, he is biting off way more than he could chew. The Disruptor in for the natural rally point from the robotics facility. And just not enough firepower from the Terran to go up here. Like, I mean, if you've got a huge army advantage, that fight can work. But the position is just so rough to come up that tiny little choke point ramp against a guy with basically all the splash damage except for Storm.
Yeah, Seither clearly, I think Thought Probe was a little more out of position on the left of that. And he was like, oh, quick, let's get up. I'll be sieged. He'll be coming into my arc. And it was like, no. Probe was like, oh, you've stepped into my 270. Okay, yeah, I'll take that angle any day. And really good handling. I mean, hats off to Probe, because I think what Seither did there is kind of a classic style of Terran where you're like, I don't really want to play like the most reflexive game. Cut upgrades, cut ghosts, cut extra factory or starport, 4th base, none of that. Push off 3 base, right? And in that scenario, Terran has this window where they've got more army, they've got the tanks. If you fight on their terms, the Terran will win the game and it will not feel fair. If he just attacked into the first tank position, Probe loses that game. But Probe's such an expert player, he just like falls back a little, goes in, goes out, sets up the Zealot flank, really bides his time, and then closes the trap. And as Terran players get really triggered by this, because I've got it, okay, cool, I'm hitting your Nexus, you need to defend this. So the Protoss just keeps buying time, another warp in, perfect surround, and it's frustrating to play against. But this player is a master of frustrating Terrans. It's Legacy's Probe.
He's the man. This guy, currently in trouble in this series, looking to try and get a point on the board to stay alive. This is Mind Freak Seither.
TVP would be a lot simpler if Protoss always fought you when you set those pushes up. You go, I'm hitting your Nexus, you gotta fight me right now. Like, if every Protoss actually fought you right then, this would be a much simpler matchup, I tell you that, Maynard. Like, it would get rid of so many of our Terran player worries. Like, you'd be like, oh, they always fight at my strong point instead of hitting me in the main with a prism and then flanking me, waiting 2 minutes and then going for the fight. Like, oh, it would make it so much easier. So instead, that simple one-directional push, there's a reason it's not as popular anymore, is usually you've got a drop elsewhere. A Widow Mine drop going in, a Marine drop. Your main push is there to threaten and scare, and then a double drop on the other side of the map runs in, and that's what actually does the damage. As players get better and better at utilizing Defender's advantage in StarCraft, we are seeing players really realize that these sort of super committed TVP pushes, they have fallen out of favor.
As the Probe gets excused from the natural there, Seither takes his natural, going for the good old-fashioned Reaper Fast Expand. Or just Reaper Expand. It's not really nothing fast about it. Get a 20 supply regardless most of the time.
Oh, I guess it's still an FE, right? You just haven't been hanging out in bronze enough, Maynard, so...
Oh, my bad.
It's a thing. Second barracks goes down very quickly.
Okay.
So it looks like another 3x. Could be a 2-1-1, though. Keep our eyes on it.
True. I'm a big fan of the 3CC and then going into 3 racks after that. But I see they're just more into the attack timings and more mid-game focused. Or I guess early game focused than this one.
Well,
There's 3 racks.
I wonder if he just does it the exact same way as in game 2, or does he actually try to do something drastically different? Because Probe is 1 game away from winning. There's a lot of ways you can play a 3x build order. The bunker definitely helps you sell the story a little bit, as that will keep your Marines safe. Oh, it won't be ready in time, though. A little bit late on that bunker.
Yeah, it does mean the Adept can be a little annoying. She doesn't respect the bunker anyway. She just shades past that thing.
Oh, she goes
2
for the command
SCVs already
center.
dying here.
Yeah. Denies the command center at 99%. Massive win there for Probe and Seither. His build order's already in huge trouble. Did he go Reaper straight reactor? Did he not build a Marine?
I think so.
Oh, this is a super greedy build. I mean, even if he had the bunker finished, he'd have nothing to put in it.
SCV comes forward to try and grab that bunker, but he's losing Marines here. So another SCV goes down. He's got to pull up back to the main.
These are the sort of things where you're trying to pull out all these new tricks that you don't practice as much as these little details. That bunker being, what is it, 7 seconds late, 5 seconds late, something very narrow. That narrow mistake turns into a big problem for you here. Let's look at this. This 2-Stalker Adept combo, one of the most annoying things to deal with because that Adept spots the high ground and now the Stalkers can just pick at you.
And the Adept is actually, yeah, really becoming a nice little meat shield here for these Stalkers who have that range advantage. And they're starting to knock on the front door here, Pig. Losing that depot is going to block Seither here.
Yeah,
He's got another one on the way at the back.
Disaster. This is an absolute disaster for Seither in this early game. You can already see it in the work account. He hasn't started mining from his natural. Probe is on 2 full mining bases. Probe here, gets the damage, pulls back at the right time. He knows exactly what he's up against, already puts down a shield battery. There'll be an Immortal on the way after that, you know, Observer in the near future. He's got Blink, he's making more Stalkers. Probe is in such a good position.
Yeah, every advantage for the Protoss right now. I mean, Seither is going to have a good number of units. He's going to have Stim soon. And this really needs to do a lot of damage, what he's moving out with right now.
Engineering Bay is starting now for Seither as well as a factory, so he's going to start to just say, okay, let's just play a longer game.
Probe missed this. Oh, just caught the edge of it.
Ooh. Okay. I mean, it's just there to honestly, I think you see no third and you pull back. You do not want to commit into that natural, so it's good to always move across and kind of demand the respect from Probe. Say, hey, you can't put that third down. But as soon as he sees it's not there, he should absolutely turn tail and run.
And he does.
Some people will hide the bio off to the side and they'll just leave the Marine spotter. And then when it goes down, they just like stim in, kill it when it's on like 100, 200 hit points and then run away. It's a cute one, but against Blink, it's super high risk.
Yeah, the bio in the middle of the map.
Oh, that's the flanking bio. So he really wants those Stalkers to pressure his natural. And then he comes in from behind when they blink back from his force coming out of his production. That can be a real turnaround in this game.
Well, he sees the Stalkers aren't attacking him here. They come back home, so Seither is... Oh, is he going to turn this into a drop instead? Or is that just a single Zealot from Probe?
Uh-oh. Observer's going to find him. Probe will know about it. Seither will not know he's being scouted, which is a huge problem.
Yeah, this is very annoying for Seither here. He's trying out a couple tricks from the book, but Probe's caught him here.
Uh-oh.
Target fires down the Marauders. Very nice target fire from Probe. Good blink micro as well. Loses one Stalker there, but still an incredibly good trade for the Protoss.
Yeah, this is disaster 2.0 here for Seither. This series goes from bad to worse. There's charges almost in. There's Colossus sentries on the way. Seither is lagging behind. Just a few small mistakes in the early game. Unfortunately, I think definitely putting him in a position. He's going to need a Herculean effort to actually come back from here. Third command center, definitely the right call. Just, you know, keep up the macro, keep up the SCVs, and maybe you can bring it back. But that's exactly the sort of game that he does not enjoy playing against Probe. Trying to claw his way back from behind is so hard.
Clawing your way back from behind in a macro game against Probe. Tough, tough, tough. He's got to drop out in the field, so potential to do some counter damage here as Probe still sharks around looking for exactly this. He's looking for a drop. Wants to pick off a medevac here and take more army supply away from Seither for free. Is missing a little bit of map vision on the south left.
Oh. Gets a couple SCVs and just blinks on out of there. Nice micro from Probe. Of course, every time you bait a stim, that is medevac energy needs to get used. Another stim just to push him off the map as that drop goes into the third base. All right.
Well, not bad drop here from Seither. Yeah.
So had a very quick warp in from Probe.
Yeah, he's got the Zealots here.
Oh, he's trying to hunt down those Stalkers. That drop going in, it needs to leave. Oh, he's going to pick up and drop the main. Seither here getting hungry. He feels the need to do some damage. He knows if he can't get some damage soon, he's going to be in huge trouble, but that drop in the main is done.
Yeah, Stalker's going to pick that off. Checking in, but not checking out of that main base. And this medevac with the 7 Marines in it being annoying, jumping from the third to the natural to the third. That does get deflected in the end. Just a few probes worth of damage. Not the biggest of deals here. Seither's still just trying to macro out of this. Going for the 4th and 5th racks now as his third is just about ready to fly on over.
I feel like I can see the veins bulging in Probe's biceps from here, honestly. Like, I feel like we're just looking at a dude who he's playing this game so perfectly. And what was a small lead became a bigger lead with the second catch on the bio. And now he's just dominating the map. Like, he is just holding, like, see this here, like, maybe I can land a third. Probe is looking for a 4th. He has a giant army. He is dominating this entire map. He has great map vision. He's moving around, just controlling everything. He's choking Seither out of this game.
Ah, the Observer sees the double drop as well. Oh, man. Seither actually can't catch a break here, man. And the Colossus up here as well, which is weird, but Stalkers could absolutely pluck that thing out of the sky. Easy peasy.
Yeah. Personally, for Seither, I'd like to see him build a second factory and never stop building siege tanks and really keep them in very safe positions. Like, keep some up here in this ridge in the natural, as well as on the high ground of the main, because I don't think he has the numbers to actually defend them from Zealots. And already, here we go. Zealots running into that third base. Got to lift, got to pull back. And I think this is going to be, in this sort of game, that's kind of what you have to do. Keep your tanks far back. Oh, Maynard. Oh.
And the series ends with a bit of a whimper there for Seither.